And we say, blessed love to each and every one. Give thanks for your presence with us. Glorify the life giver and the keeper of life, Kadamawa Haile Selassie I. Honorable Priest Isaac, definitely welcoming you, of course, into the tiger's nest. And of course, the mystic vibration, definitely in full effect. It was just the spirit, I must say, that really called me to just do this quick video. Well, I intend it to be quick, but you know how it goes. Of course, in fact, we are going to use this even pre-recorded to add to the series of that we have been doing, dealing with symbolic writings. Even previously, first night, I uploaded a short clip on the YouTube explaining to the listeners that we will be beginning the fairy tale and folly days and nursery crime, not necessarily fairy tale, folly days, nursery crime, but the secret science behind the cartoons, that we will be beginning it tonight, at least tonight being at the making of this video, and the tonight would have been the 2nd of March. I keep saying March, the 2nd of April 2018. But we're going to use this recording, the audio of it, for the mystic vibration this evening, you know, as it relates to, we're adding this now to the symbolic writings, because I think this is very important, just to bring it home, you know. And you got to keep in mind that the symbolic writings, basically almost everything that we will get into, as I said, history also has been written in the allegory, and you know, we're going to beautifully touch upon that this evening. So what I'm going to say is that we will begin the secret science behind the cartoons next mystic vibration, for sure, you know, as we have a lot of different things to touch upon. And you see, this is what I'm saying, this also will help, because when we begin the cartoon, the fairy tale and cartoons and these things, when we get into the secret science behind of that, just to give you a sneak preview, unless I change my strategy and change my quote-unquote mind, we will be beginning dealing with the ancient glyph and the ancient artwork that we as a people have used. And this is why the presentation that the Spirit just called me to present to you today is dealing, first of all, with Ethiopia having the oldest biblical manuscript, and still dealing with the symbolic writings. And there's a special, there was a lecture that was given by the Prince Ermias Sahale Selassie, grandson of Kadamawa Haile Selassie, and I would like to present just a short bit of that, where he, to me, is making some clear stance of a lot of what is practiced, you know, in the Christian theology in general, and even beliefs have been taken too literally. But when we get there, we will see exactly what we are speaking of. Now, even before I go further, I will be uploading a specific radio interview that I did with Dave Lester Payne on his program on the Observer Radio. You know, basically, I would say maybe the top listened program on the land. And this is the essay. This is the essay that came from the official winner of the essay competition this year. And the winner is Akhenaten Asa Hatton. So again, we will definitely like to give full congratulations to Akhenaten Asa Hatton. You know, as you see there, date of birth 13th of April. His presentation was superb. Date of birth, 13th of April 2006. And so his birthday is very close to now. Paradise View, St. John's and Tigray, and his contact number and all that. What does African history mean to me? And he just to give you a proper rendition of his presentation there. So I'm very thankful for him. Origin of civilization, and just his whole outline and everything was wonderful. I must say, no disrespect to the others, but I must say beyond that of those who entered, and I would definitely like to congratulate him again. Akhenaten, Asahat, and the name alone shows you that you must give thanks to his parents as well for encouraging him, and they do definitely, and it's a they do definitely encourage him and give thanks for all those who participated. But it may seem like I'm just going over that, but as I said, I will be uploading, so I want you to look forward to that. I will be uploading the video where he was awarded his prize, his first prize, and also he got what you call it, complimentary prize as well. So we are very thankful for such great works, and we definitely hope you continue on that line. So just taking a moment for that, as I said, we have the space reserved for that, so just continue to check the YouTube channel and look for that video very soon. We may be putting that together in the next several days. Now, as far as the Bible, let's get into that quickly. Don't want to have you waiting. Now, for those who are viewing this on the YouTube, because as I said, I'll be pre-recording this so that it could be aired as a mystic vibration and put as a part 6, it would be, yes, of the symbolic writings. Now, if we have a part 6, man, I think we gotta have a part 7 just to seal it up properly. It can't be sealing nothing up with unknown 6. Really. Now here we go. No, ain't no spooky vibes as if 6 is nothing confusion. No, it's just that 7 is a better cycle to seal it up on. That's all. Now, if you could look at this, those who are watching on the video, don't mind the little phone stuff. You see the pretty brother there with the Bible there. That is said to be the oldest biblical manuscript as such in existence. It says here, written in Ge'ez, an ancient language of Ethiopia. It's nearly 800 years older than the King James Version and contains 81 to 88 books compared to the 66. It includes the book of Enoch, Esdras, Baruch, and all 3 books of the Maccabee, and a host of others that was excommunicated from the KJV. Now, when you look at the book, you could definitely see the anciency of the book. It's a real book, and this is one of the points that we were making on one of the interviews that we had that we aired on our radio program, and I think we made a YouTube made a YouTube installment of that same program where we were showing to the host that, listen, the oldest known complete Bible written in Hebrew is the Leningrad Codex. That's about 1,000 years ago. And as I said, we're not arguing over the Dead Sea Scrolls and I think it's the Silver Scrolls, and no, we're not arguing over none of these things. That's not the argument. But we're speaking of something complete, something put together, and the oldest one in the Hebrew is the Leningrad. And then now we're showing here that the Bible in Ethiopia, you see, it's not a copy of, this is the point I'm trying to get. It's not a copy of the oldest. The Bible literally there is the oldest, the one from that time, So some is some saying that it's like between 300 to 400 AD, because now the Bible itself, it's an illustrated Bible too, is credited with a specific monk referred to as Garima. Now listen to this, mystic, because this is the vibes that you gotta check in, and it has to do again with the Bible. The Bible itself, when you understand again its origin, we have a DVD, a video, pardon me, that we have uploaded on the YouTube directly dealing with the origin of the Bible. Now there's the perceived origin that we basically have been taught, and that comes from the religious narrative that most people take from the Bible, meaning that the great Moses, the individual that took the 10 commandments that were written with the finger of the Almighty God, that Moses is the man that originally penned the first 5 books that we read about in the Bible. And the other prophets that came along that we read of, Isaiah and Jeremiah, these ones, Samuel, they penned the books that were given their name, or at least a second party told of their story, yet still given in their name. Fair enough. I ain't got no problem with that, And we're to believe now that this was all written in Hebrew. All right, so this is good. Fair enough. Again, we're scientists. And as scientists, you got to deal with a certain level of, evidence, facts. Evidence is a tricky word, because even in court, all sides have evidence. But what is the truth, And this is why I was showing in another documentary or another episode here, that many ones consider Hezekiah the king a real king now, because about, I think it was in 2012 they discovered that seal, or somewhere thereabouts, not no long time ago, for sure. The Hezekiah seal, the Jezebel seal. So now these people exist. That's what it is. If you're an individual, if you want to say, in the realms of consciousness, that's the whole ideology now, that Hezekiah was a real king, because we have the proof. But he wasn't real yesterday because we didn't have the proof. So now we got the proof. Fair enough. So, but really, to be straight or honest, as they would say, that as a discipline, that is good. As a discipline, yeah, man, it's good that you can see the facts, and because facts, they have twisted our history. We tend to miss some of the facts that are right in front of our faces. So what I'm saying though, again, the narrative that we have been taught now, this is a bit of history, that the Hebrew writings now, from all the individuals that I just mentioned, from Moses, everything, the Torah, the Old Testament in general, went through a translation between 200 and 300 years BC in Egypt, in Alexandria, under the time of the Ptolemy, or the Ptolemy, whatever you want to. And out of that came the Septuagint, translated by 72 individuals. And in the episodes that we have done, the origin of the Bible, who wrote the Bible, you should watch it, because we're not going to go too deep into that here. That's why it's there on our YouTube channel, who wrote the Bible specifically. When you go into that in depth, you can see where we clearly explain how that took place. You know, what happened to the Egyptian writings and scrolls. The same place where the Word of God, the Hebrew Bible, the Word of God, or the Hebrew known Old Testament, was translated into the Greek Septuagint. That same building was the same building that had the vast majority of the Egyptian writings, scrolls that were confiscated, stolen, taken, kidnapped, robbed from temples all over North Africa by the Ptolemy and brought into that temple of Alexandria, in Alexandria, annexed by the Library of Alexandria, I should say. The Serapeum, that's the temple. The Serapeum, built in stages, even from the time of the Ptolemy or Ptolemy prior to such, built in stages. So now they pack all the scrolls into this museum, where you get the word museum, and all the scrolls, you know, as I said, confiscated over the years too. And in come the individuals from more up northeast Africa into this temple, and there for months translating the Hebrew Bible, and out came the Septuagint, which is said to be basically the Greek version, the original Greek version of the Bible that really evolved into the Bible that we know today, added with the Gospels that came in, etc., etc. That's, you could say, flat history, you know. In fact, it is flat history with a few peaks and hills and mountains. I added the mountains, and the mountains are that the translation took place in a room, in a building that housed the vast majority of the Egyptian scrolls. They don't really tell you that part, but that's reality. The Temple of Alexandria, that mysteriously just went up in flames a little after all of that. Meditate. Now, what I am saying is that even the original Septuagint doesn't exist. Where is it? The very one that they came out of Alexandria with, out of the Serapeum, and said, here we have the book here. That specific one. Some old ones are there, but where's that one? You could get a hard copy, and you gotta try hard to get it. But where is the original one? I mean, it may be there. It may be there, because I subscribe to that history there. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but where is it? And then now the Hebrew book that they use to translate all of this, that ain't there neither. What's there? Although they caught the library aflame, a fire, inferno, burnt it down with the scrolls, yet still the scrolls are not the origin of this. The scrolls were written from the walls. The walls are still there. The text is still there. The glyphs, they're still there. The Medunetar, it is still there. And that is why when you read that writing, it's similar to what is in the Bible. But that's where it came from. So the scrolls may be burned. We don't know where the original Septuagint is. And the Hebrew text, the whole story that is told, Moses wrote that, and Elijah and Jeremiah, everybody came down the line, and that's their work, and we're taking it and translating it. Sounds good, you know. Sounds good. As I said, I could work with that, but not the way you bring it. Why? Because, for sure, all of that is guesswork. We're scientists. Remember, that's my point. We are dealing with this as scientists. That's guesswork. And belief, faith, I'm sure, nothing wrong. Ain't fighting that. But what we are positive, listen now, what we are positive of, and nobody can even get in the way or you'll get run over, is that Nu had a bark with 8 people on the bark. And Nu in the Bible had an ark with 8 people on the ark. That's what we're positive of. Nobody can get in the way. And Nu is thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years before Noah or Naya, as some say one of the ancient tongues is, or Noe in the Greek. And the same Nu in the Arabic. Then we're getting into language now. I don't want to beat it down here. You can check the documentary, the episode we did, Who Wrote the Bible. I'm advising you to. Who Wrote the Bible? That's right there on our YouTube channel, and you fully comprehend all what I'm digging into here. But the point is, because that's not what I'm trying to beat, I'm just trying to show. The main thing I'm trying to show, not really the science thereof and all of that, the main thing I'm trying to show is that the Ethiopian Bible, for those that will be seeing this on the YouTube that we just expressed there, that is the book, that is the book. For example, you could get an Ethiopian Bible reprinted, even one that was, let's just say, 400 years old. This is going at least almost 2,000 years old, But you could get one 400 years old and say, wow, this is an old book. Yeah, but it's still a copy of the oldest one. And this is the oldest one here in Ethiopia, the Gospels specifically. The original, that's what I'm saying, that's my point, the original. All of what we have, there's no original. The oldest Hebrew book is not an original, It's just the oldest complete Hebrew Bible, the Leonard Grad, the oldest known complete Hebrew Bible. The scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls, they may be original, okay, fair enough, but that's not a Bible. So my point is, the Ethiopians have it. Man, how long are we doing this video? 23 minutes. All the while saying is to make that one point. That the Ethiopians, as far as the scientific proof stands, are the originators of the book. The Bible is talking about, and the Gospels too. And it's in Ge'ez, not Hebrew. Well, no, the Hebrew, you could say that all you want, but we're scientists. And I stand by that principle in them, and I could understand why that principle is so important. It keeps you in line. Ge'ez. All right. Now, the reason why I'm saying all of this is that this very same Bible here now, this exact one, that is considered the oldest biblical manuscript now, or set of books, was written by a monk by the name of Abba Garima. And Abba Garima, there's a line of specific monks, I think starting with Saint Anthony and Abba Samuel. Abba Samuel would, the one that would tame many of them would tame the animals, and Abba Samuel would ride on the lion, and animals in general. Medhari, Exir, different monks known in the Ethiopian tradition. So Garima now this monk, Abba Garima. He is the one which is said to have penned this book, to have penned the oldest known Ethiopian, the oldest known, construct of any biblical manuscript. We're talking about the Gospels here. And what you have is, according to the story, he was penning the Bible, penning the Gospels now, writing it out from its anciency now. This is what they say. As I said before, all the prior books where all these things came down from, they ain't around, but we have, this is the oldest one. Okay, fair enough. So he's penning it now. And when he reached the Gospel of Mary, the sun was going down. This is Saint Abba Garima. When he reached to the Gospel of Mary, the sun was going down. So that means he was losing the light. He almost done, but he have. So he prayed now to the Almighty God. And the Almighty stopped the sun. And big man, the saint, Abba Garima, could continue and write his gospel and finish off his work. And when he done, he went back and prayed and said, yes, I'm finished. And the sun continued in its motion. Now, that's Ethiopian, That's very unique to Ethiopia. That's not Bible as such. That's Ethiopian history. You may say, no, my brother, that's what obviously you don't believe that. That's not no history, that's legend. So legend can be history too, man. Let's hold on. Take it easy. Take your time. Obviously, what would come to mind is Joshua stopping the sun in the Bible. And I always like to highlight Joshua, yeah. Garima, yeah. But Isaiah, in the time of Isaiah, in connection with Isaiah and his prayers and his being the vessel of the Almighty as such, the messianic prophet Isaiah 53, Herbie, Kepra. If you haven't seen that episode, you should check that one out. Kepra, the resurrection Kepra, right on YouTube. That's our works I'm speaking of. In Isaiah time, the sundial went back 10 degrees. So this is not just a case of the sun, stopping for a moment or for a few hours or whatever, and then it start to go again. In Isaiah's case, obviously it's a case of the sun, stopping, going back, stopping, and then going forward again. Wow. That's how the sundial would have gone back 10 degrees. That's Isaiah. I think it's the moment when the king was sick. Which king is it? Hezekiah, one of these kings. And he was promised 15 years extra in his life. And I think that was the sign that the dial went back 10 degrees, or maybe 15 degrees, or whatever it is, man. We're just dealing with the science of it. And that's how these things are written. The next writer would say 15 degrees, and somebody else say, boy, it's really 20. Really, well, all the mathematics is key too. But the science is now, did these people really stop the sun? And if according to what we've been taught, that the earth is rotating and revolving around the sun, so now it's not really the sun that's moving, it's the earth really that's moving. So if somebody stopped the sun, technically, it's not that they stopped the sun, is that they stopped the earth. And not only that, not only did they stop the earth, in Isaiah's case, the earth stopped. I mean, this is a serious thing, man. You got this thing like in Isaiah's case, the earth stopped. And when it stopped, it reversed. And then after reversing, it stopped again. And then went back the other way. That ain't no simple thing. And in Isaiah's case, in Isaiah's story, because remember, in the story of Joshua, he was fighting the war, and the Father make the world, the sun stand still, so the battle could continue. And then in Isaiah's case now, as I said, it may be a bit cloudy, but it's a case where the king was sick, and he was given an extension upon his life, and I think it was the sundial was in the courtyard. And whatever the case is, the scene with Isaiah, you do not get the impression as if there was any catastrophe taking place. You could feel that the earth stopped, turn back, and go again. I mean, that's some real stuff there, man. That's some heavy stuff. I mean, the earth stopping is one thing, man, but to stop, go backwards. I mean, come on, man. If you do geology and if you study meteorology or anything of them levels there, man, you can understand that wow, geophysics, anything of that nature, you even biology, anything of that nature, you could understand that really is some serious stuff. I mean, that alone would make you explode, implode, change the whole pressure of the atmosphere by them kind of stunts there. Yeah, I'm telling you. But then you say, well, it's God we're dealing with. Okay, fair enough. I can give thanks for that. So what I'm saying here now, so Joshua stopped the sun. Yeah, man, we're talking about Joshua stopped the sun, brother. You have to have faith. Joshua stopped the sun. That's what the Bible says. And Isaiah stop it, turn it back and come forward. Well, Isaiah now, I never really hear the Bible says so. The Bible say in Isaiah, the sun went back 10 degrees. Okay, well, I mean, if the Bible says so, it may not be Isaiah really, and the preacher never teach us that like that. I mean, if the Bible says so, it's the powers of God. And Garima now, what about him? Garima, the Ethiopian saint that stopped the sun to finish off the Gospel of Mary. You know too much about the Ethiopian thing, Ethiopian Gospel of Mary, where that come from? What a Gospel of Mary, Ooh, yes, yeah. But anyway, you see, now that's a real thing there. Many people, even some of you that are listening, even that are, no disrespect, that are in the conscious realms, maybe you never heard about that. You never come across them thing about nobody in Ethiopia stopped the sun. And I'm sure when you dig deeper now into your history, you find other people that stopped the sun. Just like you have 16 crucified saviors, 16 people that stopped the sun. Now, if somebody really stopped the sun or not, I know for sure the concept of stopping the sun is deeper than the sun stop moving. Again, you just got to carry your mind to its anciency. The sun has always been our symbol for the comprehension of the Almighty, the Creator. Has always been. That is why the feathered snake, the kulkakan, the quetzalcoatl, you know, the flying serpent and the Tutankhamun's mask. That's why all of these things are key. The Son of God, the halo behind the head, the astronomical symbols of the 12 and the 12 zodiac and all of these things. Because the sun is a key component when it comes to the Almighty. And this is something, the origin of this is not Sol Invictus. The origin of this is Anansi. Anansi Sem. That's the origin of this. Nobody invented this. This is our stuff. We were the one that took nature. This is kindergarten. The sun rise and set. This is pre-K. The sun rise and set. It's dark. Night and darkness wrestling. Look at all the typology that you see in religion. And Set wrestling Horus and all of that. And darkness and light. Pre-K. When you see we come down to the equinox and solstices and all of that kind of stuff, you're going into grade 1 and grade 2, and when you're breaking down the cycle of the sun and the electromagnetic field line of the sun and how it's seen on the computer graph and it looks like the snake with wings, you're gone into college and flying to university now. You're busting the heavens, the 11-year sunspot cycle. That's how we were in West Africa. That's how we were in North Africa. That's how we were in South Africa and East Africa. That's why we portrayed so. That's our stuff. The invader. He's the one that copycat, like in school you have a copycat. That's the copycatter there. Copying and trying to manipulate our stuff and bring out all kind of spooky, ghostly Halloween, Casper, Easter, all kind of funny stuff, but yet still the origin of it is not anything that he made up. It's stolen ideas, you know, patent ideas, copyright material that this dude has stolen and brought out as if it's his own. And some of us, we're so shell-shocked that we run from anything that looks like anything that he has given us. Oh, me not hear about the Bible. I just showed you the oldest one. Only Jesus. I agree, I'm not into no Jesus neither. But the ancient concept of Christ is ours. The Son is ours. All of that is our stuff. So I'm saying now, this is what I am saying. Took a long time to say it. Much more than I expected to. But you know how it is with you. Long-winded. But give thanks, the God of the whirlwind is in the house. Hurakan, Markasai, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. I'm very tall, you know. So I'm long-winded. I'm the long-winded one here. I'm just saying that anywhere as an allegory, as an allegory student, anywhere you read in any text about anybody stopping sun, you need to investigate them a little closer. That's all. Take a closer look. Anywhere you read in any text of anybody stopping the sun, even Isaiah. That's what I'm saying. That's why you scratch and say, well, me never Isaiah, because you haven't been taught this. They don't feed you the Isaiah stuff. You know? Joshua stopped the sun, and they don't even feed you that. Who's Joshua? That's Jesus' name. Jesus is Greek and Joshua is the Hebrew. Yahshua. All of that. Just meditate. How mystic it is, the man that stopped the sun has the same name as the sun. And then Isaiah is no jokey character, you know. Isaiah, the name Emmanuel is mentioned in the Bible 3 times, twice in Isaiah. 7:14 and 8:8, Isaiah, the messianic prophet. So these are key characters. You know, no mistake why they have that command over the sun. That's what I'm showing you. Man, it's allegory. Man, look, let me just listen. Nobody stop no sun no way. Straight up. I don't care if you're vexed. Neither the Ethiopian man, nobody stop. No sun stop. No sun stop. And the earth didn't stop. The earth no spin back. No, man, you believe them kind of things, man. And people swap. I just gotta get away with you, man. Come on, let's wake up now. Nobody swallowed by no fish. You know? But don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. A lot of us make that mistake. Burn Bible and burn this. Burn what? This Bible I just show you there from Ethiopia, you gonna put fire on that? I would fight you for that. Try it now. Try that in my presence. We will fight. We will fight. Because your lack of understanding have you gone. You go burn the oldest known Bible. Show me an older one. Well, the Septuagint. Go for it, let me see it. Well, man, the 10 Commandments. Go for it, let me see it. And in fact, the 10 Commandments, I'm glad they said that. So where you think that is? I mean, come on. So you can't go be burning that. Anybody talking about burn Bible, burn that one there. That's the oldest Bible. That's Bible number 1. Ain't got none older than it. Get the gas and the light and do that. Let me see you. Try that. Try that. Try that. We wrote that. That's my point. That's ours. Yeah. And we are the people of the allegory. That's what I'm saying. That is our science. That is our art. You know? So when the Bible says, and Jonah was swallowed by the fish, oh, that's beautiful allegory. I love that. That's good reading. Make your children read it and explain to them what it means. And tell them Vishnu came out of a fish too. Make sure you explain all of that to them properly. And show them spell Vishnu and take the V and put an F and show them how etymology plays an important part. Fishnu, you knew? New? I knew? New. Fish and new. Fish new. Now net new. That's why Jonah is Noah, the new. They take the J from Jonah, you get the word Noah. It's new. Noah name is new. Vishnu. Fish new. Out of the fish comes Vishnu. It's all one thing. It's all one thing. You know? But believe me, believe me, we have some deeper works that we are putting together, that is going to clarify a lot of things that I know people listen to and say, boy, what kind of thing this man talking about here? Now, as far as the Ethiopians again, so you have specific saints, as I mentioned, some key saints, like Abba Samuel, if I'm not mistaken. You have Abba Samuel here, Abba Samuel, the great Abba Samuel, riding upon the lion, known for taming the lion, and also you also have certain of the great saints, Medani Exir. Now, there's a specific. This is Abba Samuel there as well. There's a specific story. Let me speed this up, because I have something I want to present to you. There's a specific story of Medani Exir, where what he did now, he also had a lion. They all have their lions and everything, and this lion served him, I think, about 7 years. No, not lion. He had a donkey, pardon me, he had a donkey. And the donkey served him for about 7 years. So anyway, one day the donkey came along and buck upon a lion somewhere, and the lion eat the donkey. Well, it killed the donkey, and it killed the donkey for sure, and devour some part of the donkey, and so the donkey dead. So when Abba Medani Exir come along now, he said, wait, what happened to you? Who did this to you? And the donkey answer him and tell him, well, the lion jump out of the forest and attack me and kill me and eat me. The donkey saying all of this, you know. Not man, you don't even see what's going on. This is more than just the donkey talking, you know. That's just one thing, that's all by itself. The donkey is talking. All by itself. That you have to wrap your mind around the donkey talking, and you have to wrap your mind around the donkey's dead. Dead. What is this? Anyway, so the donkey tell him, well, listen man, the lion come and kill me. And yeah, that's what's going on. So he said, yeah. So he called for the lion, and the lion come, and the lion humbled itself, and he said, well, listen, this is what you deal, this is what you do. Well, listen, this donkey have served me for 7 years, and you have to serve me for 7 years now. Now, I don't have no account of if the donkey, the lion, had any conversation with him either, but I wouldn't be surprised. But what I'm saying now, the monks of Ethiopia, you see, you got to give Ethiopia this edge here. A lot of the ancients see that we see on the walls all over the place, Angkor, Kemet, Nubia, South Africa, even in certain places in West Africa. You have to give the Ethiopians the respect that they're still keeping up the traditions that you see on the walls in other places. Even the reed rafts and the ancient way of writing on the skins and on the papyri and the traditional staff, and the Ethiopians are still keeping that custom in the highlands of Ethiopia. So this is why I would argue anytime on the validity of the Ethiopians' chronological lists. You mean to tell me these people have taken the time to document their history, their king's lists, and their family lineage, not just Haile Selassie's lineage, This is a tradition in Ethiopia. Most of these people from the ancient times, man, especially a few generations prior to ours, during the same time of Haile Selassie, Menelik and these ones, during that time, everybody knew who they came from. Everybody had a lineage that would carry back thousands of years. These people have been keeping their records. These people have been keeping their history. Some of us, we can't even, those of us in the Western world and anywhere really, can hardly, map our history, we don't even know our grandmothers then, let's put it that way. Some of us don't even know our grandmothers. You don't know your grandmothers. That's come on. But I'm talking about an agency, yet now we wanted this, Queen of Sheba never exists. Come on. So what you're trying to tell me, you disrespecting the Ethiopians for specifically keeping their records over several thousands of years, millennia. Their records that you can see the list of kings going all the way back to Menelik the First. Where's your record that you've been keeping? And Europe in its dark ages. So I think we should at least respect the Ethiopians for keeping their records. For keeping their records. Yes, they are highly religious people and hold strong in their Christian faith. But we can't overlook that there's something different about the Ethiopian Christian faith than Christendom. You know, there are a lot of things that are just the same. And I'm not necessarily speaking of all these pale face images that they portray, especially in this modern time. And they've been doing that for a while. Oh yeah, man need to come to the reality. Yeah. But I'm just saying to this now, listen to me good. That the story I just gave to you, that's a part of their history. That's a part of their history. That's more than 1,000 years ago that, you know, the donkey talked back to the man. The dead donkey. The dead donkey talked back to the man. Talk. Not, no brain. Talk. My brother, do you know what happened to me? Talk. The donkey talk. The donkey talk, man. That goes against science. It goes against science. Samson. There's a whole astrological science around Samson and his 7 locks. And even the foxes that he binded together. And the fire. Deep with Samson, man. You read the story of Samson, I mean, nobody can be so, you know what I mean? How much time Delilah tell him, man, what's your weakness, and everything he tell her, she tried. Samson is a sensible man. He wasn't just no big brand Samson. He was the ruler. He was a judge in Israel. Samson. Yeah. The strength of Samson. He died blind. He's a God figure. Ra, when he sank, he was blind. He gave his eyes to Horus. Yeah, Jacob blind, Isaac blind. And at the same time, listen to the science, the man. Horus the blind. Eli was blind when he carried on that priesthood to Samuel. Samson, dreadlocks. Samuel and Samson both have locks. Same character. It may sound different, hard. You may say, why are you playing with it? Okay. So when he said Samson now beat the Philistines with a donkey jawbone, you see, it's because of the whole structure of the jawbone of the donkey, you know, why it's really impossible for a donkey to talk. And in terminology, we tend to use words a very mystic way. We know a donkey is an ass, but we use ass in other ways too, in several other ways, you know. So the jawbone of an ass, when you understand, yeah, you could say that Samson took a donkey jawbone and beat down thousands of people, you know. But sometimes for the words you speak, people refer to you as an ass. And the donkey jawbone, the jawbone of an ass, can be used to kill Philistines. Yeah. It's just, to me, I'm just looking at it, mystic, that in several scriptures, again in the Bible, you see donkeys speaking. The ass speaking. And then in the Ethiopian legend, you still see a dead donkey speaking. They didn't say the lion spoke. Maybe he did it. I never read that part. But the donkey spoke. And Samson killed the Philistines with the mouth structure of a donkey as well. I'm telling you, to me that's beautiful. So in the high mountains of Ethiopia, amongst the monks of Woldeba, that's in Ethiopia, these brothers have the lion, the skin of the lion that ate the donkey. Now this adds a real mystery to this now. Or mystic, I should say. I wouldn't say mystery. It's the mystery system, but you got it, man. Because in all of your allegorical talking, them man bring out the skin and throw it on the table and say, look, the skin of the lion here. Now, as I said, that's why I said what I said before, you got to respect the Ethiopians. If them man said that's the skin of the lion, what you want to tell me? What you want to tell me? Them man lying to me? You want to tell me that the Ethiopians monks are lying to me? Even though the skin may be 1,000+ years old. But I'm speaking of, you have areas in Ethiopia that even Mussolini never infiltrated. And generations upon generations upon generations of monks that have kept some of these same Bibles. Generations upon monks that have been keeping these Gospels and the holy books and the book of Enoch when they couldn't find it nowhere else, and the Ark of the Covenant. You could say what you want. We're going to break that down properly one day. And other things, a lot of other artifacts, crowns, and the language and the texts. The lineage of the kings and the family tree. It's been well safeguarded in Ethiopia. So when they bring out the lion's mane now, and the lion's skin, and say, this is the lion. Which lion? This is the lion that eat the donkey. The donkey that talk? Yeah. Boy, you have any part of the donkey? No, we don't have no part of the donkey. Boy, that would be a sight to see, you know. That would be something. I'd love to see that piece there. But to be honest, I don't have to see all of that. Even if they had a piece of the donkey. And that don't necessarily mean that the donkey did yap, yap, yap and talk because they bring a piece of the donkey. So obviously the same thing goes for the lion. But to me, the lion, to bring the skin of the lion to me is enough to show that there's something about this story that is true. Okay, if I'm wrong, hey, I'm just wrong. If you want to say that. I ain't no wrong. Wrong is X is wrong. If my analysis is a bit off, it happens sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah, let's put it that way. I don't like the wrong term. But I'm leaning. I'm telling you, I want you to get me good. I'm leaning on my respect for the Ethiopian security that they have kept over the thousands upon thousands of years, over so many things. So many things, we can't deny it. Okay, you don't believe in no Ark of the Covenant. All right, fair enough. I ain't going to argue with you there. What else you do? Whatever else you don't believe in. But I'm showing you that whether you believe the Bible is true or not, whatever. These people in Ethiopia, I would like to say the brothers, because to some degree, the monks have a very important part, the key part. It is the monks that have really kept all of these records, all of these artifacts, all of these relics. Ain't nobody coming and digging up nothing, so I find it here and there. Yeah, a few things get dug up, but we have them stored. Nobody breaking in our tomb like how they have Tutankhamun tomb and Ramesses tomb and that tomb and nobody tomb. We have our kings buried with us here. All the great monks here. The crown here. Look, we have the crown here. Yeah. Yeah, a few things. Even this book, some British heritage people come and talk about this securing the book. These kind of foolish things. Them is the things I can't take. You know. Nobody's supposed to touch the book. You know. Nobody's supposed to put their hands on the book except the priests. They have white people come holding up the book. All kind of British this and that, and Frenchman and French this and that. Yeah, nobody but the priests. Nobody but the Ethiopian priests. Man, I wouldn't touch the book if that's, well. So, yeah. So the key point I'm making here, you could get it, you get the whole science of what I'm saying. And I know I'm saying a lot. But it's our writing and it's our artwork. And if they bring up the line, there got to be something to that. Yeah, I'm trusting them. You have faith in things, I'm having faith in them. Good. Now that don't necessarily mean, again, that the donkey said, nyap, 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 let me tell you what happened, my brother. Boy, Joseph come out of the bush. Who's Joseph? You don't know Joseph the lion? Martha Pickney. He come out of the bush now. I don't know. Garima stopped the sun. No, I don't think, no. It don't mean Garima is a fable character. What I want to do, I want to present to you a bit of a, as I said at the beginning, a lecture that was done by Prince Ermias, which means Jeremiah Sahale Selassie. And if you've ever seen a picture of Prince Sahale Selassie, King Sahale Selassie, the king of Shoa, there's a famous picture, a drawing of him just sitting down. King Sahale Selassie sitting down. That's Haile Selassie's grandfather. He looks just, to me, looks just like the prince here, Prince Ermias Sahale Selassie. Very interesting. And I'm just saying that it's so interesting that he's the emperor's grandson and the emperor grandfather, or great grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, is the king of Shoa. They look very much alike. I'm telling you, they look very much alike. So, Prince Ermias now, he'll be speaking about the Lion of Judah. And I haven't written down the speech, but he says a lot, so you got to listen to what he's saying. Good. He'll be reading his speech. I'm not going to be playing, well, I ain't playing at all, but I'm not going to be presenting all at all, just a bit. But what I'm gathering, because I've listened to this several times, and you can go listen to it yourself, it's the Lion of Judah, Prince Ermias Sahale Selassie. You can check it on the internet. And he's stressing the symbolic nature of the concept of the Lion of Judah and the allegory. And listen, I would agree that he's also highlighting the symbol of the lion for those who know the lecture. I agree, and the lion has its symbol. He's highlighting the symbol. But if you listen to him good, it's not just the symbol of the lion he's stressing. He's also stressing the symbolic aspect of the storyline and everything that goes with it, even down to the children of Israel. Prince Ermias Sahale Selassie, an individual that I've encountered on several occasions in Barbados and right here in Antigua, and he's well known amongst Rastafari. I visited the headquarters of the Ethiopian Congress just last year for the not last year, about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, for the 50th anniversary, 2016, for the 50th anniversary of Haile Selassie's visit to Jamaica. Prince Ermias was there, and he visited the Congress and other places in Jamaica, and yes, you know, so he definitely is well known amongst the brethren and sisters in Bahamas, the Bahamas branch of the Congress too. So he gets around. So anyway, I want you to just listen to this and tell me what you think here.
Very thankful for His Royal Highness Prince Ermias detaining and enlightening for all of us. It is with great reverence, humility, and some concern I come before you to discuss and explore this topic. My concern springs from the certain and harsh knowledge that whenever poetry and magic of myth is interpreted as biography, history, or science, it is frequently mortally wounded.
Okay.
The living images become only remote facts of a distant time or sky, and it's...
He says when poetry and magic and myth becomes entangled or entwined with biography and history. You see, he's saying he has that strong that's how he begins his speech. He has that this strong concern that's at him when poetry and magic and myth becomes entangled or entwined. I'm definitely paraphrasing here. With biography and history, he sees that there's this dilemma that will come down upon even the characters. Let's follow this bit. Wow, this is this is Prince Ermias.
It's never difficult to demonstrate that the science and history, mythology is in a large part absurd. Thus, when a civilization begins to reinterpret its mythology in this way as history or science, it is frequently mortally wounded.
Mortally wounded.
The living images become only remote facts of a distant time or sky, and it's never difficult to demonstrate that the science and history, mythology is in a large part absurd. Thus, when a civilization begins to reinterpret its mythology in this way as biography, history, or science, the life goes out of it. Temples become museums or tourist attractions, and the link between the two perspectives is dissolved. In modern times, arguably, such blight has even descended on the Holy Bible, both in the Old and New Testament, and a great part of the Christian movement. The late and renowned American mythologist, writer, and lecturer, Joseph Campbell, has observed that symbols are simply the vehicles of communication, and that they must not be mistaken for the final term, the tenor of their reference. Thus, no matter how attractive or impressive symbols may seem, they remain but convenient means accommodated to the understanding. Hence, the personality or personalities of God, whether represented in the Trinitarian, dualistic, or Unitarian terms, pictorially or verbally, as documented fact or apocalyptic vision, no one should attempt to read or interpret them as the final thing. The abiding challenge of the theologian is to keep the symbol translucent, so that it may not block out the very light that it's supposed to convey. For then alone do we know God, writes St. Thomas Aquinas, when we believe that he is far above all that man can possibly think.
All right, I will leave it at that. I mean, no, I will leave it at that. I don't want to go. It's not hard to get to listen to it. We also replay it on Radio Anu, radioanu.com. Let me remind you that you could get to Radio Anu by just clicking in the link below the description that will be prepared for the YouTube video. You just go in and you press radioanu.com. All my information as well is right there. Radioanu.com, of course, and how to contact me. My email address, priestisaac27@gmail.com. priestisaac27@gmail.com. But of course, you could call or WhatsApp me at area code 1268-728-3162. And as I said, for those viewing on the YouTube, all the information is just below you there in the description. You know? Yeah, and as I said, we are making this for those who, this will be pre-recorded for the Mystic Vibration for the Monday evening. So for those who may be tuning in, we will be going into the secret science behind the cartoons at a later date. You know, the Spirit just came to us to put another touch to the science of symbolic writings. So this would be another part, like a part 6 of the symbolic writings, you know. And technically we already have a part 7, you know. Yeah, so let's see what happens for when we start that fairy tale. So I'm really encouraging everyone, this ain't no joke, definitely, to subscribe to our Mystic Vibration monthly program, obviously, for I would say a decent quote-unquote contribution, very decent. You're going to get all this level of information here and reasoning and science throughout the whole month. So I mean, definitely for those who know the value of the information and knowledge that we definitely have in store, yes, you'll definitely contact us and, you know, become a part of the team, the partnership, and subscribe for your monthly Mystic Vibration program. Every day you get a copy of the Mystic Vibration. It just goes straight to your inbox in your email every day. So the prince now, Prince Ermias Sahale Selassie, he's basically saying, I don't have anything written down, but you heard for yourself. As he said, that's how he began his speech. The title is The Lion of Judah. If you type that in the internet, you find it. That's how he began his speech. He had strong concern. Now, again, if you listen to his lecture, speech, whatever you want to call it, he definitely goes into the symbol of the lion itself and the Lion of Judah symbol. Yes, but he obviously, again, as he began by stating, he has strong concern with the whole aspect of taking poetry, mythology, and allegory and marrying it to biography and history and facts and events. And he thinks that destroys the culture. He says monasteries will become museums, something of the sort. And his theme is like that throughout the speech. To be very straight here, it is when I came across that lecture or presentation from the good prince, I said, wow, that's how the prince thinking. I never knew he thought like that. You know, sometimes I say, I wonder what he thinks when he sits amongst all the Rastafari, when we serenade him and when we, you know, okay, he gets a lot from us, you know, a lot of praises and serenading and a lot of, you know, high treatment when he comes amongst us. You know, but obviously he doesn't even think like a regular Christian. You need to listen to his speech. Good. To me, if I'm wrong, if he's watching this, my good brother, I hope I don't have you wrong. But as far as my comprehension of what he's basically saying from the heart, because even at the end of it, he said, listen, I know I may have, I'm paraphrasing again, I may have stepped on some toes. I hope I didn't hurt no feelings. I don't think I've done any damage that cannot be repaired. Something of the sort. You know, but again, he had to reinforce his heartfelt feeling of bringing mythology into facts and reality. Yeah. And the Ethiopians, Christians, and those who follow such are very good at that. All them stories that we just said, that's taken as facts. Facts. The donkey talk. Look, the man bring the lion skin for you. But again, I will say again, history is also written as allegory. History is also written as allegory. You got to keep these points in mind. Even history. So because something is allegorical doesn't take away the reality from it. It doesn't mean that it does not exist or it didn't happen. So we're using that example of Jonah again. The man went into the belly of the beast. One scripture says that. He went into the belly of the beast. He went into the belly of the fish. He went into the dungeon. Daniel was in the dungeon. He went into the underworld. Christ went into the underworld. He went into the grave. So if Jonah, again, was a man that was moved by the Spirit to do something and decided that he's not going to obey the Spirit, and he did his own thing, and he ended up in some sort of calamity, because that's just natural. No disrespect. I don't want to mock the situation at all, you know, but no disrespect to God. But God doesn't have to be looking over you and say, Jonah, go here. What do you mean you're not going? I'm going to deal with you. Whoop. No. No. It's just natural for you as an individual to get a spirit, just a natural like, hey, I should go do that now, you know. I don't want to go again. I changed my mind. Yeah, change my bring. Hey, what's going on, man? Oh, you there? Boy, the spirit was telling me to come, you know. Okay, let me see if I come in. And I change my mind again. And you keep changing your mind. So you're not going where the spirit is calling. Now, because you're not going where the spirit is calling, and obviously calling, you find yourself maybe going somewhere else where the spirit didn't call you to go. And because you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, dogs attack you and you end up in the hospital. I'm just drawing a reference. You know, I hope that doesn't really happen to you. I really don't hope that does. You know. So that's just a natural thing. It's just natural. It's just natural. That's why the spirit speaks. Again, it's not no disrespect. Well, I don't have to tell nobody that. I know I'm not disrespecting the nucleus of all things by saying that they don't have to be a God telling you go here and go there. It's just you naturally, as the quote unquote, if you're not offended by the term, God in you that is saying, what am I going to do now? Yeah, I'm going to take care of this. Man, you get it all the time. And if you want to attribute it to something out of you, you do have entities working with you. You have ancestors here, there, within you, before you, and coming after you, that talking to you too, you know? Yeah, and you do have the chief director, the chief dictator of all things, the nucleus of all creation working with you, you know? But I'm just trying to show you that it's in you too. It's just naturally in you. It's just in you. You talk to yourself. Yeah, let me do that, let me do that. Here it is. Look the sign, look the number, look the color. I got it. Go. You know that's what it is, and you're denying it and running away. You're going to run into the wrong thing. You run into the wrong thing. Yeah. God forbid again, as they say. But you end up in the jail. That's the belly of the beast. Some of them carry you in a dungeon. That's the belly of the fish. So I'm just showing you that when we write the story now, we wrote it in that way. Jonah got swallowed by a fish. That is what I think Brother Ermias is saying in his speech. Do you know, in Waldeba, they have a specific set of monks that every single day, all they eat one meal a day. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, that's the life. That's the life. Eating one meal a day. But what they eat is a specific meal known as quaff. Now this quaff is boiled green bananas with a specific root that's boiled with it from an oilseed plant. And they eat this every single day. That alone, nothing else. You can't come and give them nothing else to eat. That's all that they eat. Now, maybe sometimes, because I meditate, maybe I don't touch upon it enough, you know. But at the same time, there are many people out there that have been blessed with the craft and the ability to express themselves, that deal with a lot of nutritional subjects, you know, health and biology and what you eat and what you don't eat. So I don't really address these subjects that much, sometimes if at all, you know, but that's one of the main things about life. You got to check for your health and what you're eating. That's one of the key things, and what you eat and what you don't eat. you know, and how you prepare your food and all these different things. Not necessarily how you cook your food, how you prepare your food. And even if you cook your food, at the same time, you're supposed to eat a lot of raw food. I mean, that alone only makes sense. And the herbs, we don't really, attack the herbs enough. Not attack them, but utilize them. I'm saying all of that to say, the brothers look healthy, eh? The brothers look healthy. And maybe somewhere within that root that they're eating with the green fig, every mineral that they need can be found. They don't eat no raw food because they cook everything, eh? Everything can be found there. And I'm telling you, I have the highest respect for, you see, people that give their life for these kind of things. You don't know that their spirit alone is keeping certain things in order, connecting certain things and keeping the heavens up too. People that dedicate their life to become monks and to be eating once a day just to and pray and fast for the life of others. When you understand how the cosmic works, that's a very important thing. So I'm saying now that the reason that they eat this is because, according to their legend, Christ and his mother and Joseph visited that same spot where they are in Waldiba. And when they visited there, I think his mother, Christ's mother, Mary, was saying, "What will we eat? There's no barley, there's no wheat," something of the sort. And Christ provided some green bananas, green fig, green bananas, that's what we call fig. And the same meal, quaff. And his mother was like, "This, we're gonna eat this?" So she herself was like, "What, that?" And he said, "Don't worry, the day will come where ones will live here, my followers will live here, and this is all that they will eat daily, and it will be like butter and milk and honey to them." And they ate it and went their way. So because of that, when you become a monk, in Waldiba, at least in that specific part, that's your diet. I mean, other monks in other places in Ethiopia, they eat once a day too, but that's not what they eat. These monks, they eat at 3 o'clock. Some Buddhist monks, they eat in the morning and they don't eat after 12, but they eat once a day. So because of that story of Christ and his mother and Joseph, eating the green bananas and the root, boiling it, and however Christ got it and gave it to them, because of that history, these brothers eat that, and that alone. Yeah. Now, as I said, I have the highest respect for ones that give their life for these things. But again, this is where, even amongst these individuals that give their life, they need counseling and recounseling. They themselves need to amend and re-amend their order, their constitutions, their way of doing things. Because even though they've kept the records of many things, along the line, things have slipped out. You got to remember, we are already in the time of the establishment of Gondar. What's the emperor's name? Fasilidas. When we had to run out the Jesuits and the Romans from out of Ethiopia who were trying to infiltrate Ethiopia with their Christendom doctrine. So if it's the same Christianity, why did we have to go to war against them and run them out? I think it's in the 11th century or thereabouts. So the Ethiopian Christianity is a different thing. That's why they do not acknowledge our Lalibela churches anywhere in Christendom, because we're different from them. They don't have none of them stories here that we're talking about. with the donkey and the lion and the quaff. And we are unique. We're unique. We stand out. And our saints and our abbas and our monks stop in sun too, just like characters in the Bible. They will tell you that's sacrilegious and heretic and all kind of thing. No, yeah, that's the Ethiopian way. But again, it's not just the Ethiopian way, it's the African way. That's why we had picture Bibles. The first Bible is a picture Bible, and we have it. And that is why our language is a cursive form of the Medu Neter, Ge'ez, Coptic, demonic and heretic. They're all cursive forms of the Medu Neter. So the principle was still there. Symbolic writing, symbolism amongst the unconquered people. So this is why Prince Ermias, Sahale Selassie, could speak like this, strongly concerned about marrying poetry and allegory and symbolism and metaphors with biography and history and facts and events. And he's speaking directly of biblical narrative and even down to the understanding of the line of Judah, and he's of that lineage. That's a risk really he taking to be talking like that. You should listen to the interview in general. So I'm saying again, the reason why I took time to prove that we have the oldest Bible is to show you that the writings, again, even within the Bible, that's why I lined the Ethiopians have specific writings that are not in the Bible, but they're just like the writings in the Bible. For example, man stopping the sun. The man that was writing the Gospels, he stopped the sun. Okay. Donkey talking. Dead animals talking. Dead donkey talking. All of that is, you find similar stories in the Bible. Because, again, we are an African people with this ancient African tradition. And I'm going to repeat, this is the main point of teaching our religion, our theology. Listen to me, our history. Yes, our history, our culture, and our morality. We always taught these things and other things. Listen good. By the way of word of mouth, by song, by dance, by poetry, using just instruments alone, by artwork, by painting, by theater. That's why we took time to go into the Nancy cell. And we always use these methods to express, again, not just our religion and theology and our culture and morality, but even our history. We have even expressed our history, not as prophecy, but history that has passed. We've even expressed our history in allegorical form. We once had a great king, and he was swallowed by a fish. Yeah, you know, to be honest, see that story with Noah? There once was a man that had a wife, 3 sons and 3 daughters-in-law. And he built a boat and got 2 of every animals and put them in the boat. And it rained all for 40 days and 40 nights. And the place was flooded and everything, and the earth died. Doesn't that sound like a nursery rhyme or something? It does. No disrespect. It sounds like a regular nursery rhyme, some kind of Dr. Seuss thing. This man that built a boat and get 2 of it. It does. It really does. And if you've listened to the other parts, the other episodes of this series that we're looking to seal up now, you've heard me explain the Noah's Ark properly. In fact, I didn't do it in the series, but I'll be attaching that for the 7th part. So I've explained, but I've definitely done a video right on YouTube here. Several times we've talked about the Noah Ark, so you know how I look at the Noah Ark, and it's a real story. Some of you say, what? You believe that? Go and watch the video first. Maybe I don't want you to lose it, But Noah's Ark is a true story. Noah's Ark is a true story. That's what I'm telling you. That's how we do it. It's history. Yeah, it did happen. Right. It didn't happen the way it was written, like that, in the linear way that our enslaver taught us to read, for sure. Nobody built no boat and tore up no animals and no. But if you're going to read it like that in its allegorical essence, oh, that's exactly how the story goes. I'm not going to even explain it here. In fact, once you have this whole series, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This one went a little over, yes, exactly 1 hour 31 minutes. But I'm thankful, my brothers and sisters, for your love. And as I said, I'm going to encourage you to get on board, because we're going to begin the fairy tale, the secret science behind the cartoons. So the fact that we have already kind of matured and broke down this symbolic writing stuff, we can go straight into it now. Let me tell you, the symbolic writings is 7 programs. Now, 7 programs is a good amount, because people will still contact you and say, hey, brother, I want to be a part of the monthly subscription. Okay, I tell you what, I want all the programs from last month. No, that definitely don't work. You see, after the program is set, the program can be available, but it's available for a specific price, But the monthly subscription begin when you pay for the subscription. So you pay for the subscription. Of course, if you contact me, I can have leniency with you. I could tell you, of course, my brother, I'll give you them first. I'll send it even before we make any agreement. Of course, but it's just about sending you an email. But for me to give you the whole of last month's program for the contribution, no, you got to keep in mind, when you make the contribution, that's what I call it, but basically you're buying the program. So when you pay for your program, let's keep it on those terms then. When you pay for your program, you literally get the program every single day. So when I'm done, I email it to you. Then I do a next one. When I'm done, I email it to you. When I'm done, I email it to you. At the end of the month, I say, hey, I send you an email and tell you your month is up. What are you going to do? You're going to renew, or it's up to you? Good. But for you to say, yeah, man, I'm sending that $50 there for my monthly programs, no problem. I want all the program from last month. No, it doesn't go so. Then I'm going to tell you, no, well, last month we had 4 series. This series here. And that full series package is now, and I'll tell you the amount, But as I said, when you make your contribution, from that moment, you start to get the programs every day. So I'm sure you could understand that. So I'm just letting it be clear. Don't expect us to give you a whole month worth of program one time, sending it to your inbox one time, and no, that's not how it goes. So if you missed the series that we're sealing up now, if you missed the symbolic writing series, which would be 7, it is available. You could get the whole package of the symbolic writing series. You can get that whole package, and we will give you the total price when you contact us, But for the fairy tale, for the secret science behind the cartoons, well, as I said, we would have been starting that Monday the 2nd of March. I keep saying March. Monday the 2nd of April. But because, as I said, the Spirit just told me to put some more to this symbolic writing, and this was an extended program here tonight. So we're going to start the science behind, the secret science behind the cartoons in our next edition of the Mystic Vibration. So I'd advise, now is the time for you to contact us, and remember, all the information is below. Our contact number is area code 1268 728-3162, or you could definitely email us, priestisaac27@gmail.com. And I'm inviting you, of course, remember, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. It's the Mystic Vibration with me, Honorable Priest Isaac, right here on Radio Anu. Those on the YouTube, you can just go down below and press the link and you get the description, or press the description in the link, or press the link in the description, man, what you're saying there, and it takes you straight one time to Radio Anu. And yeah, definitely. So give thanks for your presence with us. As I always say, if you know your Bible, and obviously by now, if you do not know your history, yeah, the knowledge of your Bible will definitely become a mystery. But let me say, hey, you ain't gotta wait for the mystic vibration, you know. Tune into Radio Anu now. We always have information and enough inspiration and enough interviews and lectures and so many different things. Radio Anu is the place to be, you know. Give thanks, and as I said, looking for you to contact me. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks and praises. Listen.